there's a lot of people reacting to the Diddy case. And by Diddy, I'm talking about Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, for those of you who are not aware, a, uh, a media mogul, music legend in terms of him being a producer, but also known to be somewhat of a scumbag in terms of his ethics and the way he treats people. We've seen videotapes released in which he kicked the crap out of his girlfriend and artist Cassie, while also holding her career over her head, you know, her entire life. Now she received a really big payday, and I would say it's justified. You know what I mean? In terms of she's received justice for that. You know what I mean? Like Diddy can kick the hell out of me for the amount of money she got. I'd let him beat the hell out of me. But that's just me though. But uh, I want to take on this case by I want to come at this from a different angle. All right. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm rooting for P. Diddy or Puff or nothing like that. He's never a celebrity I've been a huge fan of, or someone I wanted to meet as a celebrity. I don't idolize celebrities, but I try to be objective and also try to be fair in my thinking. And I realized that Sean Combs was the biggest story of 2024 in terms of celebrity news. It was a really, really big deal. A lot of people talked about it, and the media executed this guy. All right. And I would say, to a degree, based off of the things we see, deservingly so. But there's also a slippery slope with trying someone in the court of public opinion versus dealing with the facts. OK, and I was looking up his charges, and his charges were racketeering conspiracy. Combs is accused of leading a criminal enterprise that engaged in various illegal activities, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Sex trafficking by force. Allegations state that Combs coerced individuals into sexual acts against their will, utilizing force, threats, and manipulation. Transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs is charged with transporting individuals across the state lines for the purpose of engaging in prostitution. Now, that last bit, as far as like flying women across state lines for sexual favors, you probably would have to lock up Hollywood for that specific thing. If you think Diddy is the only one flying out escorts, prostitutes, or just women in general for the purpose of just sex, man, you'd have to get rid of Hollywood for that. So I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm just calling it like I see it. But this video from TMZ ran across my timeline, my algorithm. And like I said, it's been a while since I've been updated on this case. So I want to see what's going on with it. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
I think that the public and the media have gotten nearly every fact wrong about what the prosecution's case is here. So I just want to take one issue with that. There's no minors, there's no celebrity sex tapes. The civil lawsuits here are not driving the allegations that we're defending against, but it is driving the vitriol against him in the media. There are a lot of stories in the media about lawsuits. There's been a flurry of lawsuits in the past 2 days because of an expiring statute, essentially, which is why you've seen a lot of lawsuits in the past few days. But
Everyone was trying to cash in before that expired, the statute of limitations or whatever for this. And my thing is, I'm curious. This is a genuine question I have for you guys. All right. If Diddy did something to you, I'm not talking about sexually, whether he beat on you or whatever, he caused you some sort of trauma. Would you prefer money, or would you prefer that he be locked up? Okay, because most of Diddy's accusers want money. Okay, they want money. They don't care about pressing criminal charges. They're looking for a payday. Now, me, depending on what the crime is, if it's really crazy, I want him under the jail. All right. Now, if it's a case where he, kicked my ass or something like that, like he did Cassie, yeah, I'll take that ass beating. Give me that money. All right. Give me that. I'll take the money, but that's me. I'm a guy, and Cassie obviously felt the same way as well. But let's go ahead and continue.
it's incredible here what I'm witnessing, which is that at least I personally, like what people ask me about and come up to me about, are a lot of allegations that just have no basis in reality whatsoever.
I think part of it is people are confusing the civil cases with the criminal case, because there are allegations in the civil cases. The celebrity sex tape is interesting because the U.S. attorney made a big deal in that press conference about videotapes.
They sure did.
And this kind of created a life of its own, that they had seized videos of the freak-offs, and it kind of spun into who's on those tapes. And Hollywood became unusually silent. We usually hear an uproar with something like this, and we have barely heard a peep from Hollywood. And
Now, the public interpreted that as there must be a lot of people that are on those tapes or that know things or they're scared of Diddy. We don't know, but we do think that's odd. I don't really know how to read that. How do you guys read that? But we that's how I see a lot of the people in the media have responded with big celebrities not going out on a limb to defend Puff.
Peep from Hollywood. And I think that's one of the reasons.
I'd like to address that. And I think there's one huge reason, and that's Tony Busby. Right after the indictment, he came out with a press conference with a 1-800 number behind him, threatening lawsuits against our client without having filed any. And we saw exactly how it played out, and we saw exactly why Hollywood went quiet. And that's because he was utilizing potential lawsuits against my client in order to get, to try to get, I should say, or what I believed actually did happen, but to try to get settlements from other people, because he basically leveraging potential lawsuits against them, or he would sue them. Of course, Jay-Z didn't fold, and look what happened. That case got dismissed, and now he's being sued for extortion in California. But everybody
not Jay-Z, but Tony Busby.
Right.
That's good. Great to clear that up. He's suing the lawyer because he can't, the anonymous person that went after Jay-Z, which that's a whole nother thing, how you can smear someone who's worked their entire life for their public image. And Jay-Z doesn't have the greatest public image, but he's a businessman now. And the person that's doing the accusing is not, you don't know who they are, but they can ruin your reputation. Okay, they can ruin your reputation and they get to remain anonymous. Now, if men and women are equal, okay, then why is that? Because if it's a guy accusing a guy, they're going to say the guy's name. But if it's a woman accusing a guy, they hide her name. Okay, so the problem with that is that makes women infallible to a degree. You know what I mean? Like where I get that, if you're a victim, if you're a genuine victim as a woman of some sort of sex crime, you don't want that stigma on you. But we have to start living in reality where there are a lot of people and predators that even are women, that are looking for a big payday. And they can lie just like a man can lie, but they get to remain anonymous. Meanwhile, even if that person is found innocent and that it was completely erroneous, people who didn't like Jay-Z, that accusation is just going to still tarnish his legacy. People are still going to believe that, regardless of what that was, even though it was found to be that they were just looking for a big payday and they thought that Jay-Z would fold just like Puff did, but in Puff's case, he actually paid Cassie and so we know, but that was civil. Okay. That wasn't what he's being charged for now.
And I think what you're saying, Harvey, is exactly right. Everyone went quiet because lawyers have utilized my client and the fact that he's incarcerated in order to try to leverage my client's unfortunate predicament being in prison, leverage that in order to gain financial benefit. And they've done that. I think the first lawsuit was against a Marriott as well, and then against a Macy's. And so they're trying to utilize my client in order to get big payoffs elsewhere. And unfortunately, we live in a world where anybody can say anything on TikTok and on Instagram, and especially for clickbait. And nobody can believe that this case doesn't have celebrity sex tapes or minors. And so it leads them to think that the absence of evidence is evidence. And that's just an unfortunate thing. And it's just not true. So I felt compelled to, say that here.
Now, keep in mind that, of course, that's Puff's lawyer. All right. So she's going to say everything that makes him look good and she's going to say everything she says is going to make him look in a good light for the most part. So you also have to take that in consideration. But it's a very slippery slope when we start trying people in the court of public opinion, because then the government can just throw you under the jail and nobody will care because you're a crappy human being. I'm trying not to curse, you know what I mean? Because you're not a good, Puff is not someone who I idolize, who I'm defending or anything like that, but I am just trying to be fair minded and logical. So, is this a case where, as long as you're a celebrity and people don't like you, it don't matter what charges they throw on you, we don't care that you're in prison? That's a very slippery slope. You want the justice system, which we know isn't fair, but we don't want it to get even worse. So, and then we're moving in a time with artificial intelligence and a lot of misinformation. People are doing deep fakes and things of that nature. So misinformation is going to become even more powerful, in my opinion, as we continue. And we want to make things fair, logical, and take the emotion out of it. All right. That's my take on it. I'm always subject to adjust my opinion if I see fit. You guys let me know, what do you think in the comment section below? But do I think that Diddy is a horrible person? He's done some horrible things, taken advantage of a lot of people. Absolutely. But what is he being charged with? What are the facts? All right. What is the evidence? This is really basic stuff. OK, he can be a horrible person, but, number 3 on the list, transportation to engage in prostitution. OK, Combs is charged with transporting individuals across state lines. Now, when you hear that, you're thinking of like maybe some kids or something, you know what I mean, that he's doing. And, lock him under the jail. But are these adults? Are these adults making these decisions that he's flying across, and people who are making a living off of that, off of sleeping with millionaires and celebrities, and only the celebrity goes to prison? You know what I mean? But if these are kids, if these are people taken by force, if these, if those type of facts come out, send him to the Shawshank Redemption.